To understand the genesis of World War I, we must delve into the decades leading up to the conflict. Europe in the late 19th and early 20th century was a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and imperial ambitions. The geopolitical landscape was shaped by the growing tensions among major powers including Germany, Austria-Hungary, Russia, France, and the United Kingdom. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in 1914 acted as a spark that ignited the long smoldering tensions. This event set off a chain reaction that led to a cascade of alliances being invoked and a continent spiraling into the abyss. Now, partners in history, let's dive into alliance system of the First World War. One of the most significant factors that propelled the outbreak of World War I was the intricate web of alliances that entangled the major powers. The two major alliance blocs, the Triple Entente, France, Russia, and the United Kingdom, and the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, created a delicate balance of power. As tensions escalated, the alliance commitments locked nations into a rigid framework, where an attack on one member was seen as an attack on the entire alliance. This web of alliances effectively transformed any local conflict into a potential global catastrophe. The alliance system, initially designed to ensure security, ironically became a mechanism that accelerated the descent into war. The late 19th century saw an immense scramble for colonies and imperial dominance. European powers raced to acquire territories around the world, leading to a volatile competition for resources, markets, and strategic advantages. This imperial expansion deepened the rivalries and heightened the stakes within the continent. As Europe's powers sought to extend their influence across the globe, they unwittingly contributed to a complex network of interest and grievances that intertwined with the political dynamics of the continent itself. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie in Sarajevo triggered a series of diplomatic exchanges known as the July Crisis. As Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia, tensions escalated rapidly. The crisis revealed the fragility of the diplomatic efforts and the challenge of navigating a delicate situation within the constraints of alliances. The inability to find a diplomatic solution exposed the deep-seated mistrust and militarization of the major powers, pushing Europe closer to the brink of war. The July Crisis underscored the limitations of diplomacy in the face of entrenched nations' interest and a culture of militarism. Diplomacy faltered as the major powers swiftly mobilized their armies. The intricate mobilization plans designed to deter potential adversaries instead created a self-perpetuating cycle of escalation. The domino effect of mobilizations and declarations of war led to a rapid escalation that engulfed Europe in conflict. The immense military buildup of pre-war years transformed into a full-scale clash of armies, as millions of soldiers were thrust into the front lines of an unprecedented global conflict. The outbreak of the war saw the creation of the infamous Western Front, a network of trenches that stretched from the English Channel to Switzerland. The stalemate on this front, characterized by brutal trench warfare, encapsulated the horror and futility of the conflict. Soldiers endured unspeakable conditions, facing constant shelling, disease, and harrowing experiences of going over the top into no man's land. The Western Front became a symbol of the war's brutality and the human cost of entrenched positions. The grim reality of the Western Front served as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of political miscalculations and militarism. The impact of World War I extended beyond the battlefield, affecting civilian populations on an unprecedented scale. Women entered the workforce in large numbers, taking on roles traditionally held by men. Societies on both sides of the conflict experienced economic strain, shortages on resources, and the emotional toll of having loved ones at the front. The war's influence permeated daily life, from rationing and propaganda to the profound psychological scars it left on entire generations. While Europe bore the brunt of the conflict, World War I soon transcended continental boundaries. The entry of the US into the war in 1917 signaled a turning point as American troops bolstered the Allies' efforts. The global nature of the conflict saw the involvement of colonies, dominions, and territories from Africa to Asia and beyond. The war's impact was truly worldwide, leaving no corner on the globe untouched by its devastation. The strains of World War I contributed to the unraveling of several empires that had dominated the geopolitical landscape for centuries. The Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, German, and Russian empires crumbled under the weight of internal dissent and demands of the war effort. The collapse of these empires resulted in the redrawing of borders, the birth of new nations, and the reshaping of regional dynamics that continue to influence global affairs to this day. The war finally reached its conclusion with the signing of the armistice on November 11, 1918. The armistice marked the cessation of hostilities, bringing an end to the fighting that had consumed the world for 4 years. The aftermath of the war saw the negotiation of the Treaty of Versailles and the establishment of the League of Nations aimed at preventing future conflicts. The legacy of World War I was profound and multifaceted. The war's devastation and the loss of an entire generation left scars that reverberated for decades. The geopolitical shifts and unresolved issues of the war laid the groundwork for subsequent conflicts and shaped the course of the 20th century. The armistice and its aftermath represented both a moment of relief and a harbinger of challenges that would shape the world for years to come. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and join us next time as we continue our journey through history on Partner in History.